This is the Barbados Today afternoon news for Thursday, January 18. I am Mary-Claire Williams. Thank you for joining us. It's day one of the national shutdown being led by the National Union of Public Workers. And while it is still too early to tell the full impact of the action, informed sources tell Barbados Today that operations at several government offices have been affected. There were also reports that some schools will close early today amid the protest. However, the action is expected to be significantly ramped up tomorrow to include workers at the country's air and seaports. Barbados Today's Colville Munzi has been tracking the story.
This morning, Barbados Today visited the port, several government offices in the city, the Grantley Adams Airport, and several secondary schools across the island. While truck drivers at the port reported a very unusual half-an-hour late opening, it was the schools that showed the greatest impact of the industrial action. The Commerce School closed at 11:45 a.m. as they reportedly did not have enough staff to sustain a full day of classes. Some parents expressed concern about the turn of events as they filed through the school gate to pick up their children. Many were concerned that they too would now have to take time off from work to look after their charges. Disruptions were also reported at the Grantley Adams School, while the few remaining staff at the Ellerslie School were forced to keep their children occupied with field events. This is Colville Munzi reporting for Barbados Today.
Yesterday, Labour Minister Dr. Esther Bayer-Suku made it clear that the union's action could not force the government's hand to pay a salary increase that it simply cannot afford. In other news this afternoon, good news for CLICO policyholders. There's still hope for those whose policies may have lapsed. At a news conference this morning, Resolution Life Assurance Company, which has taken over the business of CLICO, said the new company is willing to take up those policies. Chief Executive Officer Cheryl Senhouse told reporters that such policyholders need not feel their investments have gone down the drain.
With regard to policyholders who may not have paid their premiums and have found themselves in a position where their policies officially have lapsed, provision has been made for Resolution Life to evaluate the quantum of their investments. And once we undertake the necessary financial analysis, we will make a determination on how best we can move forward with those policyholders in terms of making a potential offer for the reinstatement of those policies.
Cars do not damage roads. That's the view of the General Manager of C.O. Williams Construction, Neil Weeks. He was speaking at a town hall meeting organized by the Barbados Association of Professional Engineers, examining the island's poor roads, and Weeks blamed poor construction, a lack of maintenance, an aging highway, and excessive use of heavy vehicles for the worrying conditions.
A lot of our roads were done in the late 90s and early 2000s with the capital infrastructure, Highway 5, the ring road around Barbados and such roads. 20 years on, maintenance, cracks, water settling, ingress into those cracks, fines pump out, you get alligator cracking, eventually the cracks become holes. And then the biggest one of all is the lack of proper structural integrity in the older roads to carry the loading that we see. It's important as engineers, I know you guys would understand that cars don't really damage roads. It's heavy loaded trucks and vehicles. And obviously with the growth that we saw in the 1990s into the 2000s and the massive infrastructural building program that went on, there were significant amounts of heavy trucks without real understanding of minimizing those loads to carry what the roads could carry. And we've seen a huge problem, and these problems get worse in the rainier months because of the ingress of water into our road bases.
It is always under pressure to deliver better service to its customers, and today the telecommunications company Flow stepped up its response. This morning, Flow launched its new Customer Experience Center at its former retail store at Windsor Lodge, St. Michael. The new center caters to residential customers to have service issues, billing, or general queries addressed. Flow's Managing Director, Jensen Sylvester, tells Barbados Today the center's 20 employees have undergone substantial training.
Because of our position in the market, being a market leader, and the fact that we have the first 4G LTE network. We have fiber to the home across 98% of the island. Because of that position, our leadership position, we're ensuring that we continue to drive world-class customer service, right? Because the fact is we deliver a service to most of the country, and so that's why it's so important, and that's why we're making such a large investment in the customer experience center, engaging with our staff to make sure that they're delivering service to the customers.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region. 6 people were killed when a private aircraft crashed over northeastern Andros in the Bahamas yesterday. The chief investigator of the Aircraft Accident Investigation Department, Delvin Major, said the Piper Aztec aircraft was on its way to New Providence when it was forced to turn around, but never made it back to San Andros Airport. The victims include the pilot, Captain Darren Clark, a mother of 2, a father of 2, a man said to be in his 50s, and an unidentified woman and her child. Only 2 bodies have been recovered at the crash site. Search and rescue operations are continuing. On the international front, a major drug bust for law enforcers in Spain and Portugal. In a joint operation, police seized more than 1,600 pounds of cocaine concealed in pineapples shipped from Latin America. The drug was found in wax-covered cylinders hidden inside pineapples. $489,000 in cash was also seized, and police said 9 people were arrested in connection with the bust, breaking up an international smuggling ring led by Colombians. And that's news this afternoon, but for the very latest, you can visit our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can find us on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. We are also on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Maricla Williams. Good afternoon.